Hello, everyone, and welcome to a little discussion video that I would like to put out there regarding basically the way the game's reward system is right now and just my kind of thoughts and feelings on it. Want to see if other people in the community also agree. So, I was looking at my crystals the other day, or over the last kind of, little bit of time, and realized that despite the fact I have quite a lot of Titan shards and just the fact that I used to be really into saving up shards and doing big openings, at the current state of the game, I just really don't get excited about doing those kind of big openings right now. And there are a lot of reasons for that that I kind of want to just go into a little bit and just kind of explain why. Now, I know that nowadays Ascension is a big part of the game, and that's completely fine. Some people have mixed reviews on Ascension. I kind of like it in most aspects, but there are some that I don't. But Ascension, let's, take the wool off of our eyes, take the rainbow tinted glasses off, or the rose tinted glasses off, as the saying is supposed to be. Let's not sugarcoat this. Ascension is effectively like 8 stars, but without the name of 8 stars. And it is the next rarity level for your champions, and it is basically the chase that everyone is kind of working towards now. And then that leads to the big problem, is that 7 stars in their base is no longer the highest rarity. Like, when I open basic 7-star crystals now, I have a fairly big roster. It's not the biggest roster, but I'm pretty confident that I have probably every single champion that is in this crystal in my roster. Maybe there might be a couple that aren't awakened, but if I go to my 7-star champions and go to the unowned, I'm pretty confident that all of the champions that I'm currently missing are not in the basic crystal. Yeah, I'm pretty certain none of those are. So when I'm pulling basic crystals nowadays, the only 2 reasons that I'm pulling them are to get SIGs for collectives, in which SIGs don't even add a lot of points to collectives in comparison to Ascension. So the only other thing that I really get from these crystals nowadays now is shards to go towards this super duper box, which is giving me Ascensions. I have 1 more now before I get my last refresh, and then I can finally start pulling Ascension 2 on champions. But that is basically the only reason now for me to really pull these basic 7-star crystals, because there's nothing else in there. You can't get anything towards, ascended champions. The only thing you get is Titan shards. And that brings me on to another big problem, is that the Titan crystal now, because you cannot get any kind of ascended materials from these crystals, you are basically saving shards to get a champion that is not of the current highest rarity anymore. And you have absolutely 0 chance of pulling the highest rarity from these crystals. Now, granted, getting them as a base 7-star is still better than not having them at all. Like, there are a few champions in this crystal and coming to this crystal that are still very good unascended. You've got Madeline Pryor, you've got Ruby Thursday for defense, you've got Pavita, you've got Doctor Strange, Lizard. I was unfortunately one of the people who didn't get Lizard to Ascension 2 because I got very unlucky with crystal pulls. But the new champions being added in, you do have Black Tarantula, who is looking very good, and Agatha Harkness, that's getting quite a bit of a buzz. But despite there are some good champions in this crystal and coming into this crystal, I'm always only going to be able to pull the lesser rarity version of them, which means I'm always going to have a disadvantage. And for me, that's just not very exciting. Like, that's not something that I want to be looking forward to, is pulling a version of a champion that's going to be less than what somebody else might pull. Like, that's just not exciting. Which brings me on to these, these featured Elder Crystals or Valiant Crystals. If I want to get a newer champion at the highest rarity, you have to get these crystals, which are a 1 in 1,000 chance of pulling them, unless you spend 36,000 units on getting to the Grace to guarantee them. And something that's kind of niggled me a little bit is, even if you pull one of those champions from the crystal, unless you get it before pity, you don't get the first appearance shiny version, despite the fact that you're technically getting them when they first appear. Like, to me, that just seems a little bit pointless anyway, but, I'm not a big spender in the game. I don't buy even the sigil or the battle passes. I don't buy those. That's not to say that I never spend on the game, because I do, and it would be a total lie to say that I never do. But I don't spend a lot on the game. And I get most of my unit acquisition basically from Arena and other events like it. Like, this is basically where I get all of my units from. And I just, I do the arenas, I claim the milestones, and then once they're all claimed up, that is my unit stash. And it's very rare that I get extra throughout the year. And because of that, I have a limited amount of units that I can earn throughout. And I need to basically decide on where the best places to spend them are. And I'm sure a lot of players in the community are in a similar or the same position as me, where spending 36,000 units to get one champion at the latest rarity is just, in most cases, not worth it. Because I need those materials to get other Ascended champions when they come out in sales, such as July 4th, or hopefully we're going to see a lot more Ascension materials in Cyber Weekend and Banquet towards the end of the year. But it's just, for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people, it's $1,200 worth of units. And for a player that only has a limited amount in a year from earning them, it's just not a good, what's the word to put it? It's just not good value. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, most players who are in similar situations to me need them. And for those that spend, more power to you. You keep the game alive. The game needs to make money. And I totally understand that. But I just think that there should be, better ways and new ways that we can earn those champions and just get excited about being able to open crystals again. Like, Nexus empowered crystals were a step in the right direction, because that reduced the RNG aspect of Ascension a little bit, which was at least something. But the other thing that I want to speak about here is rewards. Now, as we know from, recent events that we've had, like, for example, if I go into the epilogue, like, in the latest sales event, people were able to get, 10 plus rank 5s. I know players in the game that have over 20 rank 5s right now. And from the rewards of this epilogue, like, for completing this per chapter, you get 1/4, I believe, of a tier 5 alpha. So in all 4 of these chapters, if the rewards stay the same for all 4 chapters, I will get 1 catalyst of the 3 I need to rank 5 a champion. And that's just, in my opinion, not enough. And don't even get me started on the Radiant store. So I finished top 10 for War this season. That gives me 225k Radiance. I also got about 175k Radiance from Battlegrounds this season and 100k Radiance from Towers. That's 500k Radiance that I have earned through my efforts over the last kind of month and a half. But what can I get for that Radiance? Well, if I could spend 200k Radiance to get 1/5 of one of the 3 catalysts that I need to rank 5 a champion. Or I can get 20 empowered grace crystals, I believe, for 200k radiant. Oh no, 120k radiance. But that means if I want to get enough to get the grace to get 1 ascended champion right now, in fact, it's 6 times 120, that's 720k radiance to get 1 guaranteed ascended champion, unless I get very lucky. Like, let's be frank, the Radiant store needs a serious upgrade. And quite frankly, Kabam need to update this far more often to match the current game economy that their sales create. Because otherwise, like, I just don't get excited when I earn these rewards, because I don't feel like I can buy anything that's going to get me the chase items I need to be able to keep up in the game. So, like, for me personally, a couple of ideas that I personally would have, to kind of improve this system. I feel like, give us something exciting to pull from the basic and the Titan crystals. Even if, like, they could create, like, shards or some kind of shard system. Like, say you get 500 shards out of, 10,000 or 15,000 even. Maybe 10,000 for, like, a greater empowered crystal for one ascension, and 15,000 towards, like, maybe a Nexus ascension crystal. Like, just give me something, like, for max SIGs, 7 stars. Just give me something that I can get towards the next rarity of champions that you've created. Titan crystals. Imagine if there was a crystal that if you pull a max SIG Titan, which already means you've got to have either pulled that champion 10 times or put the SIG stones into it to get it a max SIG. Give me some shards to go towards a special empowered crystal that only contains champions that are in the Titan. Something that we can earn, something that's relevant to the game to allow us to, get excited about these crystals. And like I said, just the Radiant store. This store just needs to be improved. It needs to be, where is it? This Radiant store just needs to be updated more. Like, at this point of the game, I don't see the problem with being able to buy a fully fledged tier 5 alpha for, like, say, maybe 300k Radiants. Or being able to buy an a greater empowered crystal for, say, 400k Radiants. Just give me something that makes the effort of getting top 10 in war and getting high in battlegrounds and getting high in towers worth it, because right now it really doesn't feel like it is to me. But that's the thoughts that I wanted to get out there right now. If you've made it to the end of the video, I really, really appreciate you giving the time. Please let me know, do you agree with what I've said in this video? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Hopefully this video can be shared around, and I just want to hear what you guys have to say and get opinions, and maybe Kabam will watch this video and be able to include it in their plans going forward. I don't know. But that's going to do it from me. Thank you to everybody who's watched this, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.